the golf course itself, when I played on it, during June, July, and August, it wasn't uncommon to see great big cracks in the ground in the fairways and in the rough and stuff, because the only place that they watered were the tees and the greens. They did not water the fairways because there was no system set up. You could hit phenomenal shots on that golf course. Some that if you were to tell somebody that you hit, nowadays they would seriously question you about lying to them or what. But I actually drove number 6 with an old Max Fly golf ball. I hit the ball very good, but I must have got a phenomenal roll down that hillside and into the green. Of course, it was during the summertime, and I unfortunately missed the putt for an eagle. But and then one other drive and combination shot, second shot I had was on 14. I drove all the way down the fairway to that fairway bunker that sits on the left. That must be 300 and probably 20 or 30 yards off the tee box. I took a 6-iron on my second shot, and I was about 210, 15 yards from the green. And I hit a 6-iron in there and flew it up over that hill and ended up on the green. I probably hit short, and there's not too much roll on that hole because the green is up on a mound, and that there's almost no roll at all. But I probably hit, I can't remember whether I flew it to the green or I hit just short and bounced on the green. But anyway, I had a combination of a driver and a 6-iron to that green. Nowadays, I would be hard pressed to get a driver and 3-wood and probably about a 6-iron if I'm lucky. The hardest hole at Shawnee is a combination between 11 and 15, and maybe 12 because of the hill. We used to get over it fairly often when I was really hitting the ball, and it become a very simple hole if you got over the hill. But most of the time that didn't happen. But when it was really hard and the ball was rolling a long ways. And 18 was a little tricky, and due to the slope of the green. The green was well trapped, very small opening. I used to toy with the idea of driving that, but there's almost an impossibility unless you're going to drive it through the sand trap or hit that little teeny opening and go right and then roll on left onto the green. That's extremely unlikely. I used to play that hole to the right side and come in through that opening and over the bunker. I didn't even stay away from the road and everything, and just opened it completely up, because that was a perfect hole. You didn't have to worry about anything. It was by that big pine tree that used to be there, so it was a pretty simple hole except for the green. The green, that's the only green that I ever did see. Harlan Hobbs hit a golf ball that went up above the hole. He was below the hole putting up the hill. It went above the hole about 5 inches, stopped, and rolled back into the hole. That's the only time I've ever seen that when I was caddying or playing golf, that a person's ball went up the hill, stopped, and rolled back in the hole. It just, if it missed a hole, I don't know where it would have rolled. It might have rolled completely off the green. That green is unbelievably fast, about like putting on plate glass. It's that smooth. and quick. So if you're at the top side and putting down the hill, you're almost automatically going to roll completely through the green. So that hole is almost unfair to play. I think I would take some of that slope out of that, bring the front of that green up just a little bit, maybe a foot or so, and take some of that slope out. Golf has been a big part of my life, and although I don't play hardly any anymore, about the only time I play is when I come back to Topeka. I do go to the driving range and hit probably about 3 times a month, and maybe play about every third month. I might play 9 holes or something, very rarely 18. But I just kind of lost interest in my abilities, show that. And although I do manage to hit a few good shots still, and surprise myself, but overall my game has just kind of drifted because I simply don't put the time in it. I suppose if I was to be out there every day 7 or 8 hours a day, that I might recapture some of the old skills, but I doubt if there would be very many. I would dream of shooting a 78 or 79. That would be a dream, and probably never going to fulfill that. But you know, I still am able to put together 9 holes, and occasionally, so that's nice. But we've had a lot of fun together. I think the lowest score that I ever shot at Shawnee Country Club was a 68. I don't believe there was. I had endless opportunities and managed to take care of all those. But a 68, and the wind was blowing pretty briskly that day, about 20 miles an hour, and it might even have been you that come up to me. I was sitting in the chair. I'd went through my practice routine and stuff, and the wind was coming up, or had been high all day. I think it started developing as I was there, and someone asked me, he says, well, let's go play golf. And I says, well, no. I says, it's too windy. And they says, well, what are you going to do? And I thought for a second, well, absolutely nothing. So I said, well, okay, let's go. So we went, and I shot a 34-34, played 68. And it was, like I say, good and windy that day. And I eased back off the ball and let the wind do the work and bend it around. And I had one of the smoothest days on a golf course I think I've ever had, as far as you shoot Shawnee Country Club 68 in the wind, you're playing some good golf. I don't know what I'd have done without the wind that day as well as I was hitting the ball, but you never know, because I eased up a little bit because of the wind. Is probably why I was hitting the ball so accurately and so well that day during the wind. So I'd have probably swung harder during the with no wind, so I wouldn't have scored as well. But the lowest score, I've had a couple of 30s on 9 holes, and one being in the back 9 of Shawnee Country Club, and I had 5 birdies in a row, birdieing 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Was rather phenomenal, I thought, there. And of course, for some reason I was unable to play the front 9, and to see how well I'd have done that day. But I've never ever got a hole-in-one, but I've been fortunate enough to have a double eagle on a par 5, which I understand percentage-wise is even harder than a hole-in-one, if you can imagine that. But I was fortunate enough, a matter of fact, on that same golf course, Randolph, that was the old course before they built the new course, the new 18, the long par 5. I hit a 2-iron, and it hit short of the green, and rolled along the ground and skirted the bunker and rolled right up on the green into the hole. And I couldn't believe that. I just couldn't believe that I got that double eagle that far out. I must have been 240 or so yards out from the green and hit that 2-iron in there and knocked it in the hole. And I've had numerous eagles on par fours, knocking them in from anywhere from 150 to 80 yards out into. I've had numerous that I'm not sure of the count. It's well over 10, but I've had numerous, but I've yet to get the ball to go in the hole for a hole in one.